Hey friends, so today we're going to work on some math. We are now moving on to a new topic. We're moving on to topic 10. And today our focus is 10-1. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right. There we go. All right. So 10-1 today. And of course, we're going to start with our solve and share. All right. So it says here, Forest Park Nursery sells trees. Sal buys a maple tree for $125. A spruce tree costs $10, more than a maple tree. An elm tree costs $100, more than a maple tree. What is the cost of a spruce tree, an elm tree? Use dollar bills, place value blocks, or mental math to solve. So let me move my little self out the way. There we go. So I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to underline important parts. So Sal buys a maple tree, $125. Okay. Spruce tree, 10 more than a maple tree. Elm tree, 100 more than a maple tree. I know that looks so bad. So now what helps me, and I've told you guys this before, is to just write it down. So I'm going to put M for maple tree. I'm going to put 125. And then a spruce tree, I'm going to put S for spruce tree. They say it costs 10 more than a maple tree. So what's 125 plus 10? It's 135, okay? Because 125 plus 10 is 135, okay? So I'm going to put 135. And just so you guys remember, I'm going to put in parentheses 125 plus 10 because they said 10 more than the maple tree. All right. And then I'm going to put E for elm. And they said the elm tree cost 100 more than a maple tree. So if it costs 100 more than a maple tree, that has to be 225. Because if it says 100 more, I would have added the worth of the maple tree, which is 125, plus 100. Now let's see what the question is asking us for. I think I went ahead of myself. Well, it says, what is the cost of a spruce tree, an elm tree? Okay, well, I figured that out, and I used mental math, and they said we could use mental math to solve, but some of you guys, would rather use base 10 blocks or just use money because, sometimes our brains don't operate that way. So I'm going to go ahead and solve the spruce tree equation using base 10 blocks. So a spruce tree costs $10 more. I want to explain why I did 125 plus 10. Because they said the spruce tree costs $10 more than the maple tree. Maple tree is 125. Spruce tree is bigger or costs $10 more. So I'm going to put plus 10. And I basically did the same thing here with the elm tree because they said the elm tree costs $100 more than the maple tree. So 125 plus 100 because it was not less than the maple tree. If they said 100 less, then I would have subtracted. So I'm going to go ahead and just for an example, I'm going to do the spruce tree. I'm not going to do both. I want you guys to try and do the elm tree by yourself. Or you know what? You guys can do the spruce tree. I'll do the elm tree. How about that? All right, so first I'm going to draw my number 125. So remember, 100th block is a square. So there's my 100. There's 1 in the hundreds place, so that's it. And then 2 tens, 1, 2, and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I still have to draw my number 100. We're not crossing anything out because we're not subtracting. We're adding, right? So we're going to add our blocks into these blocks. So we have a 1 in the 100s place. So I'm going to draw one more block. Do I have any 10s? No. Do I have any 1s? No. So that's it. So I have 2 hundreds, 2 10s, and 5 1s. Well, you look at that. My mental math was right. So the answer is 225. The elm tree cost $225. Don't forget your dollar sign. That was an ugly dollar sign. But so why don't you guys try out the spruce tree on your own? Or hopefully you should have done your solve and share before we did this. All right. So that's it for our solve and share today. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our visual learning.
Three-digit numbers. 243 plus 10. 243 plus 100. How do the blocks help you understand the number 243?
I want you to think about that. Do you know? How do these blocks show us 243? Well, I know. It's because there are 200s, which represents the 2 and 243, 243. There are 4 10s, which represents the 4, and 3 1s, which represents the 3 1s. So, how many 10s are there in this number, 243? What do you think? There are 4 10s in the number 243. Good.
There's 4 10 and 10. 4 10s plus 1 10 equals 5 10s. So, 243 plus 10 equals 253. 243 plus 100. There are 200s in 243. 200s plus 100 equals 300.
All right, so to find this, they added their hundreds. They did 200s plus 100, which they knew was 300s. And then there was no 10s and no 1s. So they already knew that they were just going to have 4 10s and 3 1s.
243 plus 100.
So what is the answer? Okay, we said 100 and there's 200. We had to add those, right? So the only place value that should be changing is the hundreds place, because there's a 0 here and a 0 here. So your 10s and 1s are going to stay the same. If you said 343, you're correct.
243 plus 100 equals 343. 10 changes the 10s and 100s digits. And 290 plus 10. You know that 290 is equal to 29 10s. 29 10s plus 1 10 equals 30 10s or 300. So 290 plus 10 equals 300. How does the sum change? By 10 each time 10 is added. If a 10 is added to 290, what digit changes?
So there's another way I'm going to show you guys how to solve this that I think would be very beneficial. But basically they're saying 290 plus 10 will get you to 300. Okay, so what changed? The hundreds place changed and the tens place changed. All right, so thank you so much, Pearson. So we're gonna go ahead and do my example for today. So here I have 240 plus 33. I'm gonna go ahead and get my marker. Let me move my face. Get my marker. Okay, start inking. Awesome. So I'm gonna move myself to over here. So I'm going to use, which color should Ms. Ortiz choose? Okay, I'm gonna use red. So the very first thing I'm going to do, you could solve this mentally if you can, but I think that some of us just need to do our base 10. So let's look at our first number. How many hundreds do I have? I have 2 hundreds. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw 2 squares. These represent my hundreds, right? 100, 200. Then I have 4 tens. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I have, do I have any ones? No. So guess what? I don't draw any ones yet, at least. All right, let's look at my next number. This number does not have hundreds, but it does have how many tens? 3. So I'm going to change my color just so you guys can see. And I'm going to draw 3 tens. 1, 2, 3. And how many ones do I have? 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I can start counting up my numbers. Remember, when I get to 10, what do I have to do? Circle it, cross it out, trade it for a 10. But you don't always have to do that. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3 ones. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So far, we don't have to even regroup. 1, 2, 2. So guess what my answer is? 273. Good. So this is my answer to this equation. 273. Did I have to regroup here? No. Now let's see what's up with this one. All right. So the very first thing I'm going to do is draw my numbers. So how many hundreds do I have? 2. So I'm going to draw my 2 squares. There we go. All right. And then how many, I'm so sorry, guys. How many tens do I have? 9. So I'm going to draw 9 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Do I have any ones? Yes, I have 2. So I'm going to draw 1, 2. Good. So I drew my first number, 292. Now I just need to draw my number 24. I don't have any hundreds, do I? But I do have some tens. How many tens do I have? 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw my 1, 2 here. I kind of squeeze it in there. And then I have how many ones? I have 4. So I'm going to go ahead and draw it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I can start counting. Let's see if I have to regroup. Our ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 ones. Let's count our tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, stop, Miss Ortiz. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to circle my 10 tens. And guess what I'm going to do? Cross it out and trade it for 100. So we've done this before where we would get 10 ones and trade it for a 10. It's the same thing. When you get 10 tens, you're going to circle it, cross it out, and trade it for 100. Now, let's count how many tens we have left. 1. I have 1 10 left. Now, how many hundreds do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 3 hundreds. So my answer is 316. I hope that makes sense. I think this regrouping stuff is super fun and easy. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to let me know. How do I stop sharing my screen? All right, stop share. There we go. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you guys. Make sure you send me a Dojo message if you have any questions. Today you're going to do your 10-1 in your workbook, and you're also going to do your quick check online. Hopefully you can. Remember, I am taking grades, but if you need any help whatsoever, send me a message on Class Dojo, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.